Good morning YouTube, welcome to my channel. This is the second video of 2022. I am really excited because the MG sold. I finished it last Thursday, put it online on Friday, and on Saturday someone came from an MG owners club in Bedford and loved it and took it away. So I'm MG free, did everything I could do on it. Front end, rear end, suspension, blah 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 blah, water thermostat, not water pump, belts and O-rings and motors and this, that and the other. It went away, a lovely car. Didn't make a fortune on it, but in here it felt amazing because I saved what is, you know, a great little car, the old ZTT. Would I buy another one? No bloody way. But nevertheless, I rescued it from potential doom, and it's gone to a cracking owner, Colin, up in Bedford, and I'm sure he'll take amazing care of it and take it on to even better things. But that means now I can finally concentrate on 911. Now I've got a couple of things lined up today. I'm going to fire it up for the first time in what is probably well over a month or so, maybe a bit longer. I do have a little ritual when it's been standing a long time. I tend to start it up, run it for a minute, and then I switch it off and I leave it for a couple of minutes just to let that initial oil that's been pumped up around the engine roll about everywhere, and then I'll fire it up again. Probably going to run it around the block briefly, then I'm going to put it up on the quick jacks. I'll probably loosen the wheel nuts off first before I put it up there. Then if I do want to get the wheels off, it's a piece of cake and it's done. And I plan to do an oil change, and also I've got an exciting mod I've decided to do to the car, and I can't wait. I've been focused on it now for about a week, and I'm like a bear with a sore head with it. I've just got to crack on, but still, let's get the car up and running and see how we go. I haven't been in this car for so long, and I have missed it so much. I was watching some videos on YouTube the other night. Keith Harris, that's Orville, isn't it? I've forgotten his name. What's his name? Not Keith. Keith Harris was Orville, wasn't he? The puppet. It's a puppet. No, that's someone else. No, it's not there. No. Oh, what's his name? Harris, Keith, David, Robert. I'm not sure. I can't think. Bob. No, it wasn't Bob. Steve Martin, Gary Stewart. Oh, what's his name? I am useless with names. I watched hours of it and I still can't think of what his name was. Chris. It's Chris Harris. Oh my God. Jesus. Anyway, yeah, Chris Harris, and it was on the history of the GT3, and he was with some German bloke. I think he was one of the designers. I can't even remember it. Don't even ask me what his name was, but still, it was incredible. And I'd kind of lost touch and forgotten what goes into these cars and how amazing they are, the engineering and the man hours and the thousands and thousands of pound notes that are spent on development. You know, they were talking about the repeater, the indicator in the side wing, and that they had to, on one of the models, don't ask me which one, God, I can't even get his name right, but anyway, they spent sort of £250,000 on just developing the new repeater to blend in seamlessly with the rest of the car. That's incredible, and I've not really delved into the detail and the history of the cars that much. And all right, I don't have a GT3, and I probably never will, and I'm just in awe, and I am so grateful and amazed at what I've got and how lucky I am to have it. They're cracking cars. So let's get this damn thing up and running. Like I say, it's been a while. I'm going to do my little start up, but I'll let's see what happens, see if anything fancy comes out the exhaust pipes. It sounded a little bit slow on the turnover, but the battery's been on trickle the whole time, but still it's very cold. It's about 5 or 6 degrees in here, and it has been standing a long time. Anyway, I've switched it off now. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes and then I will fire it up again, get it out of the garage, and maybe take it around the block for a quick spin. Apology if the surroundings are a little bit noisy. I've got my garage heater on, so it's 18 in here now, which is warming up quite nicely considering both the doors are wide open. But still, I've been told I talk too much, by a couple of people online. Your point is taken. I do tend to waffle on, so I'm going to try and sort that out this year. It's a funny looking bug just flown past. Right. It's warmed up a little bit. Temperature gauge is still off of still sitting on the bottom, but it's dropped down to its idle revs and everything seems hunky-dory. I am well pleased. I'm going to take it for a little spin around the block because I want to warm it up a little bit before I drop the oil out of it. I plan to take the sump off as well this time because I've got a tiny, I'll hopefully be able to show it to you, I've got a tiny little weep around the back of the sump. There is no gasket on the 997. I don't think there's one on the 996 either. It's literally a sealant jobby. So I'm going to take it off, give it a good clean up, maybe get it shot blasted. I'm not quite sure, but that's the plan. So I thought I'll just get it a little bit warm. I'm not going to take it too far because I hate warming it up idling. It's just not good for them. So let's get it out of here. It's a bit tight, and basically just literally I'm going to run it round the block and it's not an easy task. My neighbour, I'm still putting it in the wrong, I'm still getting reverse gear wrong because of the that MG. It's left its lasting effects on me. miss that firmness, that meatiness. Oh, so nice to be out or behind the wheel. Like I say, I'm not going far. There is a reason for that. But I'm just going to go literally around the block just so I can get a bit of rev on it. Nice bit of clutch slip. I know I haven't got my seatbelt on. But still. That was it. I'm not going that far. Lovely. Frankly, was the shortest round the block trip I've ever done in my life, and it still isn't warmed up much, but still. So the plan today really is just to get it back in under the wheel nuts a little bit, put it on the ramps so I can do the oil change, and I will then enlighten you as to said mods, which I'm really excited about for this year. But I need a bit of a clean up in here. It's absolutely filthy. I've still got debris from the MG lying around, and tools are all over the place, and you know, it's got to be sorted out. And I'm going to do a bit of a tidy up in here. And basically I've got some artwork that I'm going to put on the walls, and I'm going to change the lighting and sort out some storage issues, and I'm going to paint the floor this year actually. I've got a bit of grey left, so I'll probably do the grey again just to use it up, because I hate waste. And then I'm just going to tart it up a little bit and sort out a few little niggles that we have with said workshop. But it's been about 18 months now being in here, and it's brilliant, you know, there's no doubt about it. These are clean. Very dirty. Can't believe how dirty it's got just sitting in a workshop. Still, let's have a tidy up and get her off the ground. Yeah, I forgot about that bit of wood at the front, but no harm done. It's just fallen over. I've got my little cushion, which I use on the number plate. That tells me I'm in, but I forgot all about it. Now, what is going to be my first mod of 2022? It's going to be a big one. I have decided to upgrade my wheels. Now, I have very little idea. There's nothing wrong with these ones. I love them to bits. They're in good condition. etc, etc. I'm running 305/30 19s on the back. I'm going to go 20 inch. Hopefully. I don't honestly know. The questions I have, and if you've got any ideas, then let me know. I need to know whether or not I can run 20 inch wheels on it. I want to know, I need to find out whether it's going to make any effects on the camber, etc. I've heard about, I know I've seen and heard people putting 20 inch wheels on them, but I want to know whether it's going to affect the camber or the ride, etc. I've heard it can firm them up a little bit. I don't know a great deal about wheels and tyres in terms of ratios and stuff like that. It's not really something I've ever done before. I am just a bit concerned whether it's going to be detrimental to the car or not. So I fancy quite a few. I'll show you a couple of designs that I kind of like, but I'm going to visit a couple of big alloy wheel centres. We've got one up in on the A13 up sort of, I think it's Purfleet way, up that way, and we've got another one near in Rochford tyres. I used to use them years ago when I had a Mark III Cortina. I had a set of wheels, chrome Ross styles, I think they were back in the day. So I'm going to try and pop down there and get some ideas and find out what I can and what I can't do. I don't want to start messing about with the suspension or anything like that. If it's feasible and I can get a 20 inch wheel in there, I appreciate the width, the depth of the tyre is going to have to come down, so to make it all, the ratios all correct. But if you know anything about it and what I can and can't do, please email me or drop me a message. You can email me on andy454@hotmail.co.uk, or you could leave a message in the comments. I would be very grateful for any help. And also I'm going to put some pictures up of the wheels I've got in mind. Not bad. And quite like that one as well. There's another one that I think I'm quite drawn to. I think I've seen one on the, I think it's a GT3, it's the turbo, I think, but I don't know, can you fit turbo wheels on a 997 C4S? I don't know, but I do like it. It's quite nice. Anyway, let me know what you think, but any help at all on that and guidance and what you think would be very much appreciated, because I do not have a clue. Now, I'm sure you're all aware of this, but when I put my car in here, because it gets a bit tight around the other side, fold your door mirrors in. Obviously no electrics on this one, but all you do is just push them towards the window and that will reveal a little red, Christ help me out, a little yellow button. If you push it towards you and then release the door mirror, it just holds them in, which I've done on the other side as well. And then to release it, all you've got to do is just push forward and then they go back to where they are. Nice little touch, really, just gives you a little bit of protection when you've parked up in a car park, God forbid. Still, let's get on with the oil change. Here we go, oil change. Probably one of the most simplest things you can do on a 997. You require a 8mm hexi, Allen key, whatever you want to call it, into there like so, and then a little crack off there. I did get the oil up to temperature, which was a bit of a bonus. I'm going to try and do this without, clearly not really. Oh, bugger. The engine's quite high, but you can probably see how caramel that oil is, which initially is a brilliant result, unlike my fingers, which are covered in oil. How not to drop oil all over the floor. Oh, I've just cleaned this floor as well. Still, there you go. The engine's quite high. I must admit, the first time I ever did an oil change on this car, I did it on the ground. I rolled the back wheels over a couple of little scaffold boards, and that was it. It was lovely. Piece of cake. But I want to just fill up the little bottle. Oh, it's too low. Let's have a look. I always take a little oil sample. There's rather a lot in there. Just to have a look at. And what we'll do is I'll take the oil filter out and I will cut it open and just inspect the element to see if there's anything in there. Can't believe that. Yes. Tip for me next time will be to raise my container up a bit closer. It came out of there so fast. It was phenomenal. Okay. If you want to clean oil off your floor, mine's painted technically, but a bit of clutch cleaner does the old final removal. Now forgive me, I'm not using my proper oil filter removing cap because I've lent it out and I haven't got it back yet. So I'm using a pair of brutal grips, but they're good as long as you don't let them slide around it, because they can score. I'm not actually certain whether I've got a filter for this. I know I've got the oil, but I don't intend on putting it all back today anyway. We've still got a little bit of drain down going on, and I'm just going to, there's no dripping going on yet, which is a good sign. I'm going to get myself a bit of a rag. Okay, here we go. Like I say, you can do this with the car on the ground. There's enough room to get my little tray underneath it. Trying to see if I can make a cleaner job of this. Here we go. That's not too painful. Now I'm going to just tip a little drop of oil out of there, and I'm going to keep the rest in the bottom. I'll check that for sediment. Now the cardboard element is still in there, so we'll let that drain a second, and I'll pull it out. Big old sumps, these motors. And then grab hold of my cartridge, whisk it out like that, and then we'll put that on the bench in a minute and cut it open. Okay, let's see what we can find out about this. Right, so basically what I generally do is just take a actually that might not be enough. It should be. same on the other end. Go right through. Like that. Get rid of that bit. Get rid of that bit. Pull this filter off there like that. Then take a knife, cut it down, and then dump those bits, don't need them. Open it out and just have a look inside the fins, the veins, to see if anything's in there, like for example bits of piston and stuff. Now that filter, got to say, I'm pleased with that. It's the same story I had last year. That's the inside, which won't have anything. That's where the oil comes through and goes back to the engine. So there's little point in that. So yeah, that's all good. So yeah, it's just a good check. You know, if you're finding lumps of debris in there, you know, I can't see anything there. No lumps of anything. No bits, fragments, whatever. But yeah, so that's a good way to check, a good sign that all is well in there. We know about the problems these vehicles, some of these vehicles can present. Excellent job. Now I've got my oil sample from last year and I've just checked the date on it. You might be able to see that. It's the 28th of January last year, and I'll hold them up to the light. I don't think, I'm trying to see if you can actually see, but this is the old one obviously, but if you see the reflection on the top, it's nice and caramel, pretty much how it came out of the engine today. And this is today's one. Again, it's a bit more fluid because it's warm, that one's cold. But yeah, the caramel is good. You know, if it was totally black, solid, that wouldn't be a great sign. That can mean carbon issues and stuff like that. Okay, sump removal. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, unlucky for some, bolts to undo. I'll put the sump plug back in there loosely for the time being. You will need an E40 socket to remove it. I have never taken this off before. I'm not imagining, I'm going to crack them all off first. God, they scare me. Don't think this has ever been off by the feel of it. Yeah, my little oil weep was just around the back here. Actually, yeah, you can see that on my finger. Yeah, tiny little thing. I only noticed it last year when I took it in for its MOT. I said to him, can I have a look underneath? A proper under, you know, a proper walk under. And that's when I spotted it then. Now I've got just 2 remaining currently holding this in situ. There's going to be a load of oil sitting in it, you reckon? Right, let's go and get something to pry that off with. Okay. Now, I'm going to try crack this off with a... Oh right, it's loose. What did one do with one's screw that was holding that in there? Just take out 12 and 13. It's going to come off quite easily, he says. Oop, a little crack there. Oh, yeah. What I don't want to do is oh, there we go. She's down. Yeah, it's glued on. And there we have. Oh, look at that oil there that never came out. What am I going to do with that? Hold tight. Right, and there you have it. Sump down. What's going to happen when that fills up? It's fucking leaking everywhere. Oh, my bastard. Okay, hold on. Right. So that's the tray off. I've never taken one of these off before. And that's clearly the pickup. Now, this here is like a gauze filter and mat to pick out any big debris. But if you look at how clean that is in there, that's bloody beautiful. Hang on. Yeah, look at that. All those oil changes are paying off, I tell you. But she is absolutely, that oil is dripping on my phone. But still, that is incredible in terms of how clean it is inside there. But I'm well pleased with that. Looking at this, what happens is if you look inside here, there's these two little flaps here. And the idea of those is obviously that the oil, this is like a little reservoir, so that it doesn't drain out of there, to help so that the pickup has always got oil to pick up. Clever idea, Porsche. You're very clever. But anyway, that's it on the removal. I'm going to let all this lot drain down for a few days, because there's clearly still oil to drain out of there. Quite messy. Got another load of grump on my floor. But still, yeah, I'll leave all that. I don't have an oil filter. I've had a look. I've got BMW ones everywhere, and God knows what else. But do I have I'm just wiping the oil that's dripping off the back of your phone. I've got oil filters for the Transit, and I've got BMW, and I've got all sorts, but nothing looks like the one for the Porsche. So I'm going to leave it like this for a couple of days and work on cleaning up the sump plate, and maybe get some new bolts and a sump plug as well. So I think I'm going to leave it there for now. Please give us any tips you can on views and what you think about me doing a 20-inch wheel upgrade. I'd love to hear what you think. I like the spidery, like I say, I've shown you a couple of pictures, but I like the sort of spider kind of designs. What I don't like about some of them is the fact you can't even get in there to clean the wheels properly behind, because I like to clean deep inside the dish, as it were, without having to take them off, and they're good for that. So, but anyway, any thoughts would be very, very much appreciated. Found something interesting in that strainer underneath. Namely, these little black things here clogging up some of the holes. Now let's tip them out and have a look. Okay, now what they are bits of silicone. Now, I haven't thoroughly cleaned it out, but there's still a few more pieces in there. But that is basically the compound that's been used to seal the outer edge of the sump plate. Now they're blocking up. You know, that, don't forget, that strainer is about so big. Now, it's a good point to make that when resealing the sump plate back in the car, less is more. You don't want a dirty great big bead appearing around the inside of the sump, because eventually that will wear off. It will float around your oil and fail the strainer. So quite an interesting find there. There was a couple of other bits which I lost when I was pulling it out, and I think there's still a bit more in there, so I'll investigate that further before I put the car back together. But quite interesting, I think. I don't know if I can get that any closer for you so you can... Yeah, no, maybe not. But yeah, quite a lot of gunk, all things considered. So yeah, I think it would definitely be a good idea to make sure that you don't end up with loads and loads of that gunk around the inside, because obviously that's what's going to happen. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that's been of some assistance to you, and I will be back with another video in terms of the oil replacement, what I do with the floor, with the pan, etc. next time. Thanks for watching. Glad to be back on the Porsche. I'm really, really pleased, and it's a great feeling. Thanks a lot. Take care. Like and subscribe. Love you. What? Take care. Bye.